we talk about our being down our 4 receivers, and you and I on our show this week, you said we talked about the receivers, Tony stepping up, Skyy Moore possibly stepping up, but you were like, keep an eye out for those tight ends there. I mean, right out the gate, we saw Noah Gray getting Jody Fortson getting involved right out the gate. Talk to us about what you saw from the tight ends today, and of course 87. But talk to us about what you saw from the tight ends today.
Oh man, come on, the group skyscrapers in cleats, right? That's how we say skyscraper in cleats for my man Lance right there. I mean, those guys were phenomenal. And like I said, look, we sit there talking about who we don't have. How about we talk about who we do have? And so we can never leave out the equation of having Jody Fortson and Noah Gray, and then of course the great Travis Kelce. I mean, those guys, did a tremendous job, not only just catching the football, but also blocking. I mean, they did like going down the field block for Travis. Travis scores 2 touchdowns. If you look at who's leading both times, it's tight ends blocking for him. That's what it was. And so, man, they did a tremendous job. Jody coming out there making a catch on the slant right off the gate, then catching the one down the sideline, stretching out there, Stretch Armstrong getting the ball.
You look like Gronk there. That was a Gronk-esque catch.
Yeah, no doubt about it. But that's it's Jody. That's Jody doing it. So I don't want to bring Gronk in there. Jody's his own guy. Okay, he plays his own game. All right, that's Fortson out there doing his thing. Okay, so but he did, man. That's what you have to when you come in. It's all about how do you what's your contribution going to be, right? Is it you just kind of showing up, coming in and I haven't played in a long time, or I haven't gotten a couple of footballs. Now it's like, man, as soon as they call your number, you got to make a play, and they absolutely did that. Justin Watt, he did it. Watson came in, caught a couple of footballs. Skyy Moore, we'd have never seen what it would have been able to do unless this situation with Cole Harbin and JuJu being out, and then Tony going down, to actually see Skyy Moore come out there. And I was saying that it's not. And I was talking about this earlier also, too. I was just saying, like, look, we're not talking when we bring Kadarius Toney in. It wasn't about what Skyy Moore wasn't necessarily getting or how he wasn't developing. He's still a good receiver. That's why we got him, as early as we did. And he showed it. He showed exactly, his development in the phase of where he is. And so that's what you look for, guys, especially in the NFL. When a guy goes down, how do you step up? How do you feel about a guy who's coming in, replacing those guys that are down?
Yeah, this is a game that I think actually goes all the way to the top as far as praise is considered, because of the fact that this game showed what Shaquille O'Neal always likes to talk about the others. This is a game of the others. You have your Kobe Bryants and your Shaquille O'Neals that win the titles, but you have to have your Derek Fishers and Robert Horrys to knock down the big shots. This is that kind of game. This is a Skyy Moore game right here. This is an Isiah Pacheco game. Because Kadarius Toney's been getting all this hype, rightfully so. We've been sitting here talking about how this guy's going to be special, and I do believe he is. But he goes down with a hamstring injury in the second quarter, doesn't do anything in the game, and it doesn't matter. The Chiefs still score 30 points. Now, Travis Kelce scored 3 of the touchdowns, sure. But when it came down to those big plays, like we talked about, the first 3 receptions went to who? Jody Fortson, Skyy Moore, and Noah Gray. Like, it's the others. This is why this offense is so much better than it was last season, as crazy as that sounds. Because of the fact that you lose a Tyreek Hill, all of a sudden defenses have to sit there and wonder, where's the ball going to outside of Travis Kelce? But see, with the team now, you have literally 9 to 10 different options that Patrick Mahomes not only can throw to, but will throw to, and he throws it to him confidently. I mean, you watch Patrick Mahomes throw the ball. Go watch the game back. Go watch all 22. Do what you got to do. And watch when he throws the ball to Travis Kelce, and watch when he throws it to Justin Watson. It is the same type of zip. It is the same type of confidence that he's putting into that ball. And those are 2 significantly different players, both talent, production, everything. It's because Patrick Mahomes spent all offseason building with these young dudes, building with these new pieces. So even when JuJu and Mecole Hardman and Kadarius Toney and Clyde Edwards-Helaire all are gone, all get out, it doesn't matter. The offense still hums. It still does what it needs to do. And that is why the others, if this team went and got this offseason, are going to be the difference as to why the Chiefs lost in the AFC Championship last year and win the Super Bowl this year. Because the defense does what they do, like we've already addressed. They make these big plays in big moments. And then the offense does what they do, and it does not matter who's on the field. As long as 15 is zipping the ball to them, the plays are going to be made and touchdowns are going to be had, boys and girls. That's how it's going to go. Yeah,
no doubt about that. I mean, that's the the team goes as PM15 goes, right? And that's just the reality of the situation. And it's always going to be that, because he's the most dynamic quarterback out there in the NFL right now, and just during this time, man, he's just playing absolutely a high level of football. And so, like Lance was saying, yeah, when of course Tyreek Hill takes his abilities down there to to South Beach, well, then they was like, oh, well, what's Patrick going to do? Well, the thing is, he's reading the defenses, he's making the throws, he's being patient with everything, all of his reads. That's what he's doing. So it was a great thing. Matter of fact, when you look at it, it's probably a great thing just for him, where he doesn't feel like he has to force himself to throw the ball down to Tyreek Hill, right? He's got a number of guys around him, capable guys to catch the football, who can get open, who have great hands. And so, as long as, like I said before, PM15 he's upright, man, Chiefs are always going to be in the game. They're going to be fine because he's going to be able to get the ball out of his hands. He's just such a competitor that you don't really worry about that as far as like being down in a number of points, regardless of what it was, right? Like I didn't care. I think at a certain point where they were up and you thought about, well, they might go up like 10 or something like it's like, hey, Patrick he'll still go down and score, quick with the guys he got around it, right? And so the guys, they proved that. But I'm gonna say this: hats off to Andy Reid running the football.
Yes,
this week. Yeah. Hats off to that. Okay, because we seen it kind of stall out when he started kind of passing on first. It was like, wait a minute, hold on, man. Look, Pacheco's getting 9 yards of carry. Like, keep toting the rock, keep giving it to him. All the guys was running hard. CH came in, ran hard a few times he came in before he got hurt, right? And so I think the whole running back crew did an amazing job. Pacheco in particular. He still, he's not the best at pass blocking. We know that. He kind of got thrown out the club over there pass blocking. But, I think everything was good until the fumble by McKinnon, right? And you just a veteran guy like that, you just don't expect it out of him to fumble that ball. Now, it was kind of shocking. But the guys, you know what? They regrouped. Defense went down, played like they needed to at least, trying to get it. You got the ball back. Patrick gets back. Let's go back down and go score. So, but yeah, man, we needed that. We need to reestablish that run. Like when I harp on how important the running game is to an offense, to a quarterback, to the receivers, like it all has to be in sync. And then when you come one-dimensional, it's tough. It's easier for a team to kind of tee off on you when they're doing it that way.
We talk about the other guys, right? And we talk about the progression of Mahomes through the years. If you think back to, I think it was like a second year. I think it was when we played the Colts on Sunday Night Football. It was the second year of starting, and we were down. Tyreek and Watkins got hurt that game and didn't come back in, and we didn't really do much that game. I think we lost like 19-10 that game, but our offense looked horrible that game. He didn't have his top two guys. It was like, oh, this is what's going to happen when you don't have your top two guys. Fast forward to today, he didn't have his top four wide receivers, right, during that game. And, 20 of 34, 329 yards, 3 touchdowns, and a game-winning drive at the end. It just shows you the progression of what he's become, not being so reliant, like you said, JD, not being so reliant on one guy where, he's looking to his one guy, like Tyreek, being forced to throw the ball to him. Now he has a kind of – and also – a whole assortment of receivers and the depth he has now is much better than we had back then, because it was Tyreek and Watkins and then everybody else. Now it's kind of, distributed across the board with all those receivers. So, yeah, just seeing that from one Sunday Night Football game to another, like a couple years later, just shows the progression of Mahomes. And, it's
well,
unreal.
and also, you see a progression also in how Andy Reid is trusting the run game, because if you go back to that game as well, now there was context because Eric Fisher was also missing in that game as well. So Patrick Mahomes also had a foot injury he was dealing with. So there was a lot going on in that game. But you saw, I think the Chiefs only ran the ball like 15 times in that game against the Colts, and that was never out of reach. The Colts were only up, I think, by 6 the entire time. So that game should have been a lot different. You're seeing the progression as a collective in the Mahomes era, where they're starting to trust other people a little bit more. Because like we said before, man, it was, all right, it's Travis Kelce or it's Tyreek Hill, and then every once in a while you'll sprinkle in a Byron Pringle or a Demarcus Robinson. Now it's fluid. You have no idea who's going to lead the team in receiving targets. Travis Kelce more times than not But outside of him, man, you have no idea who the others are going to be, who's going to strike. Nobody outside of my guy. I'll give respect to my guy Mark Gunnels. He did call it. He said Skyy Moore was going to have a game tonight, and he did. This was a Skyy Moore game. But again, imagine trying to game plan against this defense each and every week. Imagine being the Rams coming up this week. How do you game plan? What do you do? You know what I mean? Like, it's that difficult to beat this team, man, and they showed it in full display tonight.
Yeah, and I think mainly, like you said, how do you beat this team? And it's always like, look, we can't let 87 beat us. He's still going to beat you. He's still going to make his catches. But like you said, the others, the guys around him, are performing. And so that is such an incredible feeling to have, especially in the locker room and the guys having confidence out there, which is just giving everybody, like you said, Andy Reid, the whole, everybody out there, the enemy, everybody sitting over saying, man, look, we know we can play now with anybody. We know that. So that's a great feeling to have. And so when you got guys holding the fort down until all your main guys get back, hey, this that's what it's all about in the NFL. But what I like, though, too, kind of saying that is saying, well, like you said, the main guys, these guys that's supposed to be replacing them, these guys could be right there with them, right? I mean, shoot, Skyy Moore, like I said, he's first round pick, man. We know what we got in him. But man, I just loved it. I just loved everything that I saw out there offensively. I really did.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out the best clips from Chief Concerns. And if you prefer to listen to the show, subscribe and follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and anywhere else you get podcasts.